Why does anyone pick an art form? Be it music, painting, graffiti, drawing, clay making, or even making statues? What does that have to do with emotional intelligence? What does that have to do with mental health? Well, today, that's what we'll be getting into. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Keyshawn and this is my clothing brand, Chasmic, Desist, where we talk about mental health and I make designs about clothes and art. Pretty much it, mental health, art, clothes, apparel, you know. But today's video is not going to be about any type of clothing or anything like that or any brand updates. Today, I'm going to be talking about turning pain into art, more specifically how that correlates to my emotional intelligence journey. Now, like I said in the beginning, I asked the question, why does anyone pick an art form? Well, I guess, the main thing is, one obvious thing is to make money. If you're good at art, you can make money at it, but that's a really difficult thing to do because the art world is very finicky in that manner. You have to get lucky and you have to be really, really good, but also really lucky. But one of the other things that, causes people to pick art is to express themselves. And a lot of people will express themselves in, a negative manner or a positive manner, but if done the right way, art is a really beautiful thing to heighten yourself and your emotions and your mental health and really force you to face all the negative aspects of yourself, but also all the positive aspects of yourself and help you work with them and nurture them and help bring them into a better place. So I guess that's why anyone picks an art form. That's why I picked art. Initially, it's, because I like to draw, I like space, I like aircrafts, I like Pokemon, whatever, anything that looks cool. I wanted to see if I can emulate that. But as I got older, a lot of things happen in life that causes you to not necessarily get rid of that inner child, but forces you to put life into a different perspective. Everything's not all sunshine and rainbows. You can't always wear the rose gold glasses. Reality hits you at some point and you have to be able to deal with that in a positive manner, because if you don't, you can easily end up depressed or worse. So art was one of those things to allow me to express myself when a lot of bad things happened to me and a lot of bad things happened to people that I cared about. And I guess that's why I picked art from then forward. Or maybe it's more like art picked me. I did. But I wasn't, art is a skill. Let's say that. I did pick it, but I guess that based on where I'm at now, what I'm doing right now, I guess it did pick me, and I'm very happy to do it. I'm very happy that I met a lot of people I did along this journey. But I guess one thing I will say, art is not always an external thing with like paintings or statue or pottery or whatever, or music. I guess the greatest art piece that you'll ever have is you. It's in here. And nobody else can paint that picture but you. Nobody can see the full version of you but you. Nobody understands the intricacies of everything of you but you. You paint that picture for yourself. Now, there may be sometimes people come in to just fuck it all up, just putting all these like blemishes everywhere, but they're cleanable. They're cleanable. And that's what I've learned, that's as much as you can blame the world for your problems. At the end of the day, it's up to you to solve them. No one else is going to help you solve them. Let me correct myself. People will help you, will give you the path to do it, but it's up to you to walk that path, of cleansing yourself, of nurturing yourself. And you're not in this world alone. People will help hold your hand. They will guide you along the way, and they'll be patient with you. But ultimately, you got to take that step forward, and as scary as that might be, as expressing yourself through art might be, as scary as that all might be, it is a necessary thing for you to do. Fear is one of the brushes, the colored pencils, the chisel of you. Fear helps make you. So does love, so does intelligence, so does emotions and spirituality and mental health and whatnot. But courage is probably the thing that will impact you the most. So I guess that's why anyone picks an art form, to help express themselves and to help people understand them, but ultimately help themselves understand themselves. Because we can't help anybody if we don't understand ourselves, and nobody can really understand us if we don't understand ourselves as well. Otherwise, you're just living a lie. And I'm sure we know many people that live lies. And sometimes they may seem happy when they're around people, but when they're by themselves, I can assure you, based upon my own experiences and my observance of others and my talking with others, people will always put on a mask if they have so many things to hide and so much pain within them that they don't want others to see, especially if they feel like it's a sign of weakness. And it's not. Turning pain into art is really hard, because it forces you to face yourself. And obviously there's a lot scarier things in this world, but one of the scariest things in this world is having the courage to put yourself out there, not even just in front of others, but put yourself out there in front of you. You will always be your biggest critic. Even no matter what your other critics have to say, you will always be the hardest on yourself, and you will always fear yourself the most. Speaking from experience, it's hard to face yourself, and it's even harder to force yourself to paint a picture of yourself. Drawing that heart was very hard at some point. Now it's gotten easier to portray things like that about myself, because I have accepted it and am working to understand it and nurture it, as many of us should do. I feel like I'm going through a lot of my points here. Yeah, I guess I am. I guess part of my emotional intelligence journey is observing myself and others through art that I make, but art that I also create internally in my head about others. Once you observe other people enough, you'll learn to paint certain pictures of them, not as a means to judge them, but everyone has a particular color scheme depending on how they feel everyone's environment internally shows itself externally. I don't know if you noticed when people seem to fit in best in certain places and not so well in others. That is because the way that they resonate with things is a direct reflection of themselves internally. You will never see me willingly in bars or negative environments unless I have to be there. And if I have to be there, usually I don't like it. It doesn't resonate with me. But you can paint that picture. You can see it in people's faces. You can feel it. You don't have to believe in auras or frequency or whatever. This is a basic human instinct that other animals have. You can feel when something's off, and you can feel when something is positive. And you can use art to paint that picture, whether that be physical art or just something visual, feeling, empathy, if you will. And that is also a skill. So I guess the next thing is why turn pain into art as well? Well, one of the things that you do when you're sad or whatever, at least for me, what I did with art is I used it to quickly draw it all out and throw it away, as if I was drowning out my own sadness until I forgot it. And obviously, you cannot live that way. Things always catch up to you. And, when it does, you'll sink or swim. And I don't think anybody wants to sink, truly. Everyone would learn to swim. This is a hypothetical. If you're scared of the ocean, then I guess tough shit, but this is hypothetical. So there's no literal ocean or water here, fortunately. But I guess if you consider how sad you are, that ocean feels very real. But bear with me and believe me when I say that it is perfectly, you'll be able to navigate it well enough. Especially if you need help, which you will receive. It will seek you. But I guess when it comes to art as well, when you're drowning your sadness until you forget it through art, you'll find that no art piece will ever be good enough for you. And many artists, be it music or otherwise, can attest to that. I guess that's something that will never be fixed until you learn to accept things as they are. And once you do, you feel all the better for it. So with that, let's get to the next point. Yes, always about you. At first, when I was drawing art or putting my emotions on paper or canvas or whatever I felt like at that moment, it was always about me. And to an extent, that's okay. It's okay to be selfish at times. And for many artists, at first it starts out as always about them. But then you come to realize that although that thing resonates with you, it resonates with a lot of other people as well. That's why so many people can feel the words in songs. They can feel the emotions in paint strokes and pencil markings and all the blemishes that the artist put there or that so happen to be there. You realize that everything's not always about you. It's about other people as well. Other people feel what you feel. I keep saying that because it's true. But that's what I've learned. I'm not alone, and you're not alone, even if it can feel like you're always alone. Trust me, I know how that feels, and I'm sure that many of you know how that feels. But believe me when I say that things get better. And as you keep making art, things get better, and I guess it feels really good when people understand your art, and it makes them feel good because it brings out a part of themselves that needed to heal. And that's such a wonderful feeling. And I guess I already covered how you really use art to face yourself first and foremost. And then once you face yourself and you acknowledge it, you accept it, and you allow you to understand you through the art, and you let the art speak to you. Pain only can do so much if it's internal. You gotta let it out somehow, some way, at some point. It can't always stay inside, tucked away deep down. That just makes everything worse. So why don't you just let it out in a healthy manner and let it speak to you, and you speak to it. It'll just help you heal even more. And I guess the last thing I said here was, yeah, you're not alone. There are other people like you. That's why I started this brand in the first place. At first, it was about me, and I felt like I was alone, and everything was falling apart in my face. But then there's other people like me. And obviously, I don't experience everything that other people experience. I don't experience the worst things in the world, but I don't always experience the best things in the world. And that's okay. Although all of our lives are different, many of us share all of the same things. That's the beauty of the human connection. So I'll end this video with the fact that you should share your story when you should, obviously. Everything's not always meant to be shared, like I've said before, but share your story. Not only with yourself, but with others. You may be surprised at the beautiful impact you have on the soul that needs you, even when you don't even know it.